All right. Hello, everyone. This is Trevor. We are working on the next lab. It is SQL injection, union attack, finding a column containing text. Again, the vulnerability is in the product category filter. The results are returned in the application response. So we're going to use what we did in the previous lab. We're going to identify a column that is compatible with string data. The lab will provide a random value that we must make appear in order to solve the lab. All right, sweet. So let's review what we did last time. And in fact, instead of just typing this over again, I can just scroll up here. This is what we did in the last video. So we determined the number of columns by adding these null values until we got a 200 response. That told us the number of columns. Now, what I tried to explain in the last video, but everything worked, which is unfortunate, is that not all of the column types returned are going to be compatible with a string. And so when they're incompatible, we'll get an error saying, a SQL error. So what we do is we add in a string in each of these until we get a 200. And then we know that that column, whether that's the first column, middle column, or the last column, can accept a string. And so by doing this, we can determine by, moving this A into each of the columns, we can determine which one will accept a string. And then from that, we can return other values in that string field from the database. And that'll make more sense as we continue this attack into getting data from other tables. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. This is where we left off on the last one. Let's make a new file for this one, and it is called find column containing text. So find column containing text.py. We're going to jump on our template. Is it template or template? All right. We know we want to determine the number of columns, so we can use the same logic we did here. Boom. I don't know yet if we want to move this into another, because we're duplicating the code again. I don't know if we want to move that so we don't duplicate it. Probably do. What's a good way to do that? So what we need is, if we move this to a function, we don't want to put it in shop class, right? Because it's not really part of the shop class. And the reason I say that is we're determining the number of columns. That algorithm that we're using is not specific to the shop class. It's specific to more SQL injection class, if anything. All right, we're going to leave it for now. The number of columns. For some reason this... All right, whatever. We've got the number of columns now. Now we need to inject, see which one it returns a string. So we can do that by creating another nulls list equals, we want a null And I believe we can do times num columns. Let's check that. So we got a equals null times 3. Boom. All right, so we've got a list of that 3 nulls. That's what we want. Now we can join it. So nulls text equal, oh, we want to do for null in nulls list for, oh, we want to get the index also. So instead of in, what is the word? Expand, enumerate. Enumerate? No. Is it? Yeah, I think. I don't remember if it is. Let's do for x index. Yeah, it is enumerate. For index null in enumerate, and all we really want is the index here. So we're looping through the list. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We can do for I in len of nulls list. Nulls list. Oh, we want a range 0 to the length. Sorry. This should get us. So let's check that for I in range 0 len of null of A over here. Oh, yeah. And we're going to do print I. 0, 1, 2. That's perfect. Okay, so I is going to be 0, 1, 2. And then we're going to do nulls list I. So we're going to replace the column or 0. So the first iteration is going to replace the 0 and null with the string A. Second, it's going to replace the second one with A. And we want to make sure that nulls list is not modified, or that so how can we do that? We want to move this into here and do num columns here. The reason why is because we want nulls list to have all the nulls. We're going to modify it here. If it was outside the loop, then as we modified it, this modification would stick around for each iteration. And that's not what we want. We want it to be straight null, 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 modify it. When we go again, null, 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 modify it, etc. All right, now that we've got our nulls list, we want to do the same kind of thing we did before to check like this. Shop dot get category. We need to determine the category equals. We can just copy this. Nulls is join. We're going to join that nulls list. Category, we're going to enter it. Then we're going to get the response from that. If response category, response status code equals 200, then we're going to say, let's do a pass here, just for now. So for I, and we need to determine text columns. So text columns, and we want that to be a list. And we can add to that list test columns dot append, and we want the column that we did, which is I, and then we can loop through again. So as we go through this, we're going to add the column number. Let's make this a string here to text columns. Actually, do we want a string? No, we don't. So text column is going to be if all three are, we can inject a string, or we can union select with a string in all three columns. Text columns will be 0, 1, 2. If we can only do it in like the second one, it'll be 0, or sorry, it'll just, this list will just have the number 1. So let's do log.info text, the text columns are, and we're going to do text columns dot comma space dot join text column, but we need to turn, I don't think this is going to work because they're integers, but I'm pretty sure we can do map str. Let's try that. So a equals a list of 0, 1, 2, map str a, and then we can do dot join. All right, cool. So that worked. What we did is map will take everything in the list, so each element, and run whatever we put first on that element, and then return the results. So we told it to convert them all to string with the str. We set it to do that for each element of the list A, and then we joined that because it'll return a list. We joined that together, and the result was a string, which is actually what we want here. So we can add this t columns string str. I don't know what to name this one, and I don't like this name, but it'll work for now. Text perfect. All right, so this should work, and it'll get us the text columns. I don't believe this is going to solve because it says that attack returns an additional row containing the value provided, and that was I can't remember. There's something unique, and I don't see it here. Anyway, so I don't think this is going to solve it, but let's check to see if it works. Oh, are we? No, we're good there. Let's open up. Let's access the lab. And we're going to do Python find. We're going to leave request because I think we need it. See, this is the string I think we need to make appear. And we're not doing that right now. We're just determining which columns return text. So let's see how this works. Number of columns is 3. Text columns is blank, which is unfortunate. Let's check out what happened. Union select null. All right, so we're determining which columns. We got 200 back. Oh, we need that to be in single quotes and not the letter. But other than that, see how it moved along and tested each one? That looks good. So, where do we... All right, let's try this again. Determining number of columns. Number of columns is 3. Text columns are 1. Sweet, so we got a response that time. Let's check this. You can see we have the single quotes now. We got a 500 on that one. We got a 200 on the middle one. So that one's a valid text column. And then on the last, we got a 500. All right, so that looks good. So now all we need to do is, instead of returning A, we need to return the this string and then check solved. So we need to grab that string. So to do that, let's comment all of this out for just a second. Let's do, well, let's leave this shop request dot get shop dot base URL. We're going to do it without a proxy. This is just temporary. And then print response dot text. What we want to do is see what the HTML looks like, so we know what we can do to grab that text. Scroll up, it's going to be near the top. Somewhere around here. There we go, right there. Okay, so we know it has the ID equals hint, and then we can look for the colon, single quote, end at the single quote. So again, we'll do import RE, and we're going to create a function, def. We're going to tell it, we're going to call it get hint URL. No proxy. And we're going to say, we're going to do this. Response equals requests get shop.base URL. We're not using no proxy yet, but that's okay. We got to use URL and not base URL. You know, is this a function of the shop? Well, let's try it in the script first before we decide whether we should move that. If you remember, we did a regex in one of the beginning scripts. We did pattern equals re.compile r, and then here we did our pattern. And our pattern is going to be, oh, I want it to be single quotes. ID equals double quote hint, and then we want the greater than dot asterisk. So any characters 0 more times. This is the question mark again marks it so it's not greedy. This should take us up, and then I want the colon. That should take us to here. I want a space, a single quote. I have to put it in backspaces now. And then this is what I want to capture. So I want to put the parentheses dot asterisk question mark in the parenthesis, and then another single quote. And that should get us the have an R. That should get us the hint. So we can do pattern equals that, match equals pattern dot search response dot text, and then hint we can just return M1 because we're only capturing one field, and if you remember right, the match 0 will be the whole thing, and match 1 will be just what we captured. So I think that will work. Let's do this. Get hint. The URL will be shop.base URL. We're not going to put this through. We're not using shop.no proxy. All right. That's fine. And I think we are going to move this to the class. So hint equals, and then we just want to print hint. All right, let's try that. Is the site still live? It is. Why didn't our thing work? Let's log some stuff. So log dot info getting hint pattern. That looks good. Return M1 hint. That looks good to me, but it's not working. All right. So let's figure out why. Let's copy all of this stuff to here. A equals, we'll triple quote this. We'll import RE, and then we will do this. And M equals pattern dot search A, because I did save that as, did I not? What? Yeah, I did save it as A. So pattern dot search A. Got it. Match object M equals M0 whole string M1. That's exactly what we want. Why is it not returning? Print M0 print M1. I don't know what is going on right now. Get hint. be find column containing text. I don't know. I'm sure I'm missing something really dumb. Python, find column containing text. We are not getting any print. So, what the hell did I do? Finally. So we got some. Oh, what the hell? Where did our freaking main go? What? I don't know when I deleted that. Okay. So it's working. But I don't know when or why I deleted main. I apologize about that. All right, so we're getting hint. We've got it. Let's log.info found hint, and then we'll do M1F, turning that so we get the hint. All right, now that we have that, we know where the text column is. Excuse me, we just need to return that hint as one of the columns. So, and we'll just do it in the first valid column. We're going to do something like this. Right here. We're going to create another nulls list. Nulls list that we did here. All right, so let's space this out. So this is where, so we're going to create nulls list, and then we are going to change one of them to hint. So we need F. We're going to do single quote hint, double quote, and instead of I here, we need, let's do text columns, and then we'll take the first entry in that array, and then we're going to change the nulls list of whatever that entry is to the hint. We're going to union select that, and then if the response is 200, we're going to do shop.isSolved. All right, I think that is it. Let's do it. Getting hint, found the hint, perfect. Found the number of columns. Text column is 1. We did not solve it. So what did we do wrong? It's going to be one of the last ones. You know what we didn't do? This did not response dot get category should have done the request. We have nulls here and not nulls list. That was our issue, because it was using nulls from the beginning and not here. All right. Sorry about that. This time it should work. Boom. And we got it solved. All right. So, I really want to clean this up. Let's move get hint into the shop class. Eventually, we're going to have more types of sites, but for now, so we need self instead of URL or proxy. We don't need to provide it any of that. We're going to do if self no proxy, and then we want this quest.get self.base URL, else we want proxies equals utils dot proxies, and then verify equals false, pattern log info found hint, perfect. All right, that should work. And I have if self no proxy, perfect. All right, where were we? So get hint is now in the class. We can do hint equals shop dot get hint, and we don't need anything here. What else? This stuff kind of do the same thing twice. We do all of that is the exact same code as this, so we can move that into a function, and that function will need shop. You know, I don't want to do that. I'm going to leave it as duplicate code. We only do it twice. The first one is similar but not exact. I'm okay with that for now. We no longer do RE or quests, which reminds me, we do have RE here. So that's it for this script. Our shop class is growing. A lot of good functionality there, which I like. We're going to have to do, if we continue doing the union selects, we're going to have to fix all of this stuff into some repeatable code. But that'll be it for that'll be for another, video. For now, I think that is it. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.